AITA for not giving my half-siblings anything after they were left out of the will? My father divorced his first wife after she had a baby that was not his. He had 5 legitimate kids with her but did not fight for custody. A few years later, he met my mom, had me, and we had a happy life for 53 years. I may have seen my half-siblings less than a dozen times in my whole life, mostly when I was much younger. My dad tried to help them out over the years, giving advice and lending them money when they needed it. We never lived in the same state, but I would hear of them from time to time, always through my father's disappointment in them. He also felt some guilt for not being there for them. Eventually, they broke his trust one too many times, and he decided to never help them out financially again. They would occasionally call or send a birthday card, but they all eventually stopped calling. About a year ago, my mother passed away suddenly, and then my father pretty much lost the will to live and passed away about 9 months later. Being the only child, it was a huge emotional burden for me, not to mention a logistical nightmare, but I loved them and I was happy to be able to be there for them. My half-sister came out of the woodwork and began visiting my dad at his assisted living facility, and I was appreciative of any help, even if it was a couple of weeks here and there. Aside from her, no one else came to visit. After he passed, I learned through his will that I was the sole inheritor of his humble estate. It was actually supposed to go to my mom and then to me if she was no longer living, but since she had already passed, it all went to me. His other children were not mentioned in the will. About 2 months later, as I was trying to deal with probate, I got a call from one of the siblings saying they were going to challenge the will in court and sue me if they didn't get their fair share. They claimed that my dad had promised them things over the years. I told them that while I knew it hurt not to be mentioned in the will, there was nothing I could do about it. I didn't write the will. One of them even suggested that I influenced him while he had dementia. I tried to be understanding, knowing that they lost their father too, but this went on for months. At one point, just to push things along, I said that I would think about sending them some things, but I needed to get through probate first. They finally relented once they realized they had no case. I am finally through probate, but they've left such a bad taste in my mouth that I don't want to give them anything. I'd rather just donate the items they wanted. They don't even want the items because they mean anything to them, it's things they think they can sell for money. So, am I the asshole if I don't give them anything?